Okay.
Okay. You know, let me give myself like one brief moment of meditation before I start. Okay. The water contaminated with pesticides flowing from Lake Okeechobee into South Florida's river systems is a huge and mostly preventable problem. It's having an enormous negative impact on the South Florida fishery and the ecosystem as a whole. First, what is the South Florida inshore fishery? This fishery, opposed to the offshore fishery, which is obviously off the coast into the ocean, is all of the canals and rivers, lakes, the intercoastal waterway, all of the stuff that is inside of the coastline. These waterways, excuse me, have been negatively impacted hugely recently by the large amount of rainwater runoff from Lake Okeechobee through this area, spillways and into the canals and everything. The rainwater is contaminated with pesticides, and this is causing a massive amount of fish kills and other ecological problems. The Army Corps of Engineers estimates that Lake Okeechobee is 2 to 3 feet higher than it should be. Some of you may know that parts of Lake Okeechobee are designed simply as a big retention pond to hold all of the water that we get in our, summer thunderstorms and stuff like that in Florida. And, it's gotten to a point where it's just a little too high. So they, divert the water through the spillways and into the intercoastal and all the stuff, in Palm Beach County and, Broward and Dade counties as well. And this brings that contaminated water into, the salt water where, it mixes with fish that are not used to it and other marine life. And it's been of serious detriment. Some of the chemicals that are causing these problems are things like aldicarb, bromacil, and ethylene bicarbonate. Needless to say, these chemicals belong nowhere in nature, and least of all anywhere where we would be taking fish that we would eat. Thousands of people in South Florida, make their living as charter fishing guides, commercial captains, other water tourism, whether it's just going, for the beach or to the beach for the day or parasailing or a million other activities in South Florida. And this has caused, hundreds of millions of dollars, to be lost from that simply because people, can't eat the fish that are coming out of the waterways now. They don't want to go to the beach because it might not be as scenic as it once was with dirty or stained water. An example of this is this thing here that I pulled out of the intercoastal in Boynton this morning, which, it looks just like a black thing of muck, and that's really what it is. It's not seaweed, it's just a wad of algae that traps other particles that may be floating in it. I found some pieces of plastic in it, and, this is floating all through the river, washes up on the shoreline. It's very, unsightly. It leaves residue on boats and everything. It's become a real problem. Now, some of the things that we can do to solve this problem, first and foremost, would be to vote. There are certain politicians that are trying to enact change, work with the Army Corps of Engineers to solve the problem, get the water levels down in Lake Okeechobee in a safe manner, opposed to just dumping polluted water into, our ecosystem. Another thing you can do is to be very careful when using any chemicals outdoors, whether you're, treating your lawn, with fertilizer or pesticides, washing your car, whatever it may be. And another thing to do would be to volunteer. There are a lot of local organizations that are trying to clean up this, the areas affected by this, whether it be, cleaning up fish kills where there have just been, dead fish washing up on shore, or just going and collecting stuff like this. They spend time breaking it off of beaches and that kind of thing. So in conclusion, all of us are affected by this in South Florida. The waterways around here are a huge part of our identity as a state. It's a sunshine state, but that wouldn't be, the sunshine wouldn't be as good without the water. So please, would appreciate it if you would take some time and maybe tell some people about this issue, and maybe we can do something about it. Thanks.
Good job. Good topic.
Awesome.
Nice job.
I like black out when I do that. I have like no idea where I am in my outline.
Okay, so guess I'll go next.
Cool.
Oh geez. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to start off with a question. If you guys could just raise your hands, it'd be really helpful. How many people have heard of Bluetooth technology or used Bluetooth, a Bluetooth headset, Bluetooth in your car, anything like that? Okay, so most of you, all of you. Awesome. Okay, so at least you know a little bit about Bluetooth. Over the last 9.5 years, I've been working for a company called Underwriters Laboratories. And what our lab does is we started off testing Bluetooth products for user operability and just user function. So we'll take headsets, car radios, and phones, and we'll pair them together and make sure that once they get on the user's end, they work functionally for you. However, in the last about 3 or 4 years, what's really been hitting the market is medical devices. So I know a lot of you guys have probably seen Fitbits or watches that can track your medical devices. So I'm going to cover those topics a little bit, and then also go into hospitals, and then also everyday users that can use Bluetooth for medical purposes. But first, my first example is these little Bluetooth headsets. I don't know if you guys can see them. I can't see myself there in the video. But what they do is they're actually wireless, which is really cool. I'm testing these right now for work. But one is for Bluetooth. The other that goes in your left ear will actually track your heart rate, your steps, the duration of your workout. But it'll do it for running. It'll do it for swimming. It'll do it for biking, which is really neat. The problem with these types of devices, however, is that they're not always accurate. So when people get this data, their blood pressure may be reading at 130 when it should actually be reading at 105 or 108. The pedometer doesn't always work. So, when you buy some of these devices, the manufacturers will tell you, don't rely on the data that's provided by this. And it's exactly true. When testing these things, a lot of times they are way, way off. So, but they are, quite a cool novelty, and a lot of them do work very well. Today I'm going to go swimming with these and see, what they do with swimming. They're supposed to count my breaths and strokes and the duration of the swim. So hopefully that'll be pretty cool. It's the first thing I've ever tested that does swimming. Some other stuff would be like you can clip onto your baseball bat or a tennis racket, and it reads information as far as your swing, the swing speed. So kind of novelty items. However, going through the medical field, there are now 2 devices that have been approved by the Bluetooth Special Interest Group for hospital use. So when you're at a hospital, or you have that big machine next to you that is reading your blood pressure and your pulse and all your vitals, there are 2 devices that are now on the market that are wireless. So those machines can send that data to the nurse's station or a central location, which can then be uploaded to your physician's PDA or smartphone or tablet. So while he's at home, he can still monitor all of his patient's vitals in real time. So it's really cool that they're able to do that, but there's such a huge, what's the word? Variables, I should say, I guess, for users, that they're really skeptical on using this. With the inaccuracies of it, there's a lot of liability if these things are incorrect and they don't work properly, especially in a hospital if they're being used for the actual patient data. So there's still a lot of testing on that. Our lab has got one of them now that we're testing, and hopefully, be approved to go onto the market. But it's really neat to see where Bluetooth has, come in the last 9 years. But from hospitals to user-friendly and everyday user devices, some physicians can give their patients a wearable meter. So if they've had strokes or heart attacks in the past, they can use this device and wear it on a daily basis that's connected to their phone over Bluetooth. And if they have an episode or something isn't reading correctly, the information will then send it to their physician's PDA automatically via email or an application. Another usage that is really cool that I wanted to bring up is about 5 or 6 years ago, his name is Marine Lance Corporal Joshua Beal. He lost both of his legs above the knee in Iraq in an explosion. And they came out with some prosthetic legs that used Bluetooth. So just like a cell phone and a headset, the cell phone would be the master and the headset is the slave. Well, in his case, his right leg is the master and the left leg is the slave. So when he steps with his right leg, it sends a Bluetooth signal to the left leg to duplicate the same motion. So he's actually using half of the energy to walk. All he has to do is make the motion with his right leg, and the left leg will make the same exact motion. So it's actually, a great advancement helping people walk. But again, there's downfalls that are still being tested, such as, if he stops on his right leg and wants to stop moving, he can't, because it's going to tell the left leg to duplicate the same action. So he always has to stop on the left leg. Kicking, for another instance, he can't control how far, how hard he kicks. It just kicks, which isn't also going to make the left leg kick. So there's variables in there that are trying to be worked out, but the overall industry has just come a long way with really helping in the medical field. So it's really cool to see this guy's video. It's on YouTube, and it's really neat. He just takes the legs off at the end of the night and plugs them in, and they charge overnight. The only downfall to that is the battery doesn't last very long. They don't have interchangeable batteries. So again, just coming up with the technology and testing these things is the key to it. But I just wanted to leave you guys with Bluetooth really isn't just for car radios or the little novelty ugly headsets anymore. They really are making advancements in people's lives and trying to help people and doctors and make it more efficient for medical instances. So just be really open-minded in the future when you see Bluetooth or hear Bluetooth. There's a lot of advancements coming, and it's a really cool up-and-coming technology that people should really look into if they haven't already. So that's it.
That was interesting.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I really thought it was just like a headset thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times they are just headsets, but these ones that I'm actually testing now, with the two pieces, you see, stereo headsets that have the left and right earpiece, but they also have a wire that has to attach between them.
Yeah.
These actually use an electromagnetic audio wave. So when I plug the right one in and I plug the left one in, they'll connect to each other. So I can listen to music in both ears. But as soon as I take them out of my ear, it terminates, the connection. Another really cool feature they have, though, is on the left one here, it has an audio feature where I can swipe on the side of it, and it'll pick up all the background noise. So like yesterday when I was out mowing the yard and I had my headphones in, I normally can't hear the cars coming around the corner because I live on the curb. And I always have to look both ways before I go out on the road to turn around. With these on yesterday, I could actually hear the background noise of everything around me, plus the music. So it's, if you're jogging down the road, on Forest Hill or a busy intersection, and you want to hear the cars coming up on you, these are really cool to have. And they fit extremely well, too, which is really surprising. I've never had them. But like I said, today is swimming, so I'm going to jump in the pool after this and do some testing on them and see if they actually work for counting strokes and breaths and heart rate and duration. So I was kind of hoping Johanna would be on here right now because she could use those in the pool or something when she's doing her dives. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'll let somebody else start.
Well, hold on. We lost
Yeah,
Sabrina in the middle of your speech.
she rolled out.
She hasn't even chatted us or anything.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Where'd you go?
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I guess.
I'm a little jealous now. Because my speech is so boring and basic. It's like,
Oh.
it's, I just picked like the easiest thing I could do.
Should I?
And I don't even have a visual thing to, actually.
Yeah, just grab. I literally saw in the chat that we needed a visual thing, and I went down and grabbed that thing of Steammuck.
What? I didn't even see that. Is that required?
Yeah.
I didn't even see it until it was
You know
somebody-
what? Let me find a picture on my phone then. That's what I'm going to do really
Yeah,
quick.
that totally counts.
Because I think his outline, like I said, was just a very generic outline that he gives all of his classes, whether they're in class or online.
I totally agree with that.
So it's like, for us, what do we do? It's kind of like we're still having to do everything just to cover our own butts and make sure that we don't miss something.
And there are assignments on the My Grades thing on Blackboard from 2014.
Mhm.
Right. Or his announcements. You have to read through announcements from 2012 or 2014. You get halfway down to find one from yesterday. It's like,
I get
When
the
he does
impression
that, I feel
starts
like,
the semester and just hits
does it
refer.
even apply to us? That was for another class 3 years ago.
right.
Did your method change? Like,
Right. Well, I think that the whole visual aid was supposed to be the PowerPoint presentation, which he didn't have us do because originally that PowerPoint went along with it. But you can't really do a PowerPoint and have a video going at the same time. So,
That's exactly right.
yeah, I don't know how you do that. But thank God we don't have to do it.
yeah, I know.
Okay, where did she go? Should I bring her back?
Yeah, let me message her.
Let me try and invite her again. Alright, I invited her.
You know, we need to have like a certain amount of people in the group.
Yeah, I forgot how many. Like
I think
5.
you wanted like 5 or 6. I mean,
Yeah.
we really can't control with
Yeah, if people don't show
Johanna
up,
if she's
what do you do about that? Like,
diving practice. I mean,
exactly.
Honestly, I feel like he wouldn't even like.
He wouldn't notice, probably.
he might, but
Yeah,
just
notice, but I don't think he'll like.
I don't think we'll
at
be
points or
penalized for
something.
it.
Yeah.
Right. If anything, they're going to be penalized.
Yeah.
All right, let me see what's going on. So today's my pop's 70th birthday.
That's all.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
We're going to surprise him later. We're huge Gator fans. I'm trying to get into UF for spring next year. I keep checking every day to see if my application got approved. But he's never been to a Gators game, so I got his 4 sideline seats to UF versus Kentucky this year. So
That's awesome.
I've been like waking up all day, like ready to give him these tickets. I've had them for like 4 months now, and haven't been able to say anything that I bought them. And I'm like, oh, all right, today's the day. I finally get to tell him we're going.
Awesome.
Yeah. So well, where's this girl at? Man? Have you guys read Chapter 9 at all about groups?
Yeah.
It's for next week. It was kind of funny though. It's like, oh, that really does apply a lot to us.
Yeah.
You know, at least meeting online like this, which is actually kind of fun. I don't mind it so much as getting into class.
Yeah. It's like, maybe we'll have like an end of the semester party or something.
Right. Awesome.
This kind of sucks. She just disappeared.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, I guess I'll go next, but.
Yeah, I mean.
Like, I had disappeared after giving my speech, but like after, he didn't even give hers. Like,
right. All right. Well, Ashley, you're up.
Oh no. Oh man, why? Okay. All right.
oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay. At the end of my speech, my audience will be knowledge about the qualities of what it means to be a good friend. There are 3 most important qualities to have when it comes to being a good friend. It's being trustworthy, it's being a good listener, and it's most important to be supportive no matter what. The number one thing to build and keep a friendship is being trustworthy. That is the number one most important thing for sure. Sometimes people just need to have someone to be a good listener, a person who supports you no matter what. A friendship builds upon being able to trust one another. I would like to explain what it means to be able to trust a friend that will always be honest and won't lie. Being able to count on your friend when needed to show that they're reliable and you can trust them. A friendship is loyal. Someone who's open and honest with everything, whether it gets really hard or even when it's easy. That's really important. A friend that honors your commitments, keeping things when they tell you that are private and like confidential. You keep it confidential to show respect. It's a great feeling when you have a friend that listens and understands you, like nobody else almost. It's a great quality to be a great listener. When someone listens to you and understands you, it's a great feeling to have someone that can do that for you. When someone can also relate to you, it's really meaningful as well. Also, a good listener is having an open mind, trying to put yourself in the other person's shoes, and also being very supportive. Lastly, in the end, it's critical to have a friend that will always support you, even if they may disagree at times, because you can't always agree on the same thing or their decisions, but you'll always be there for them and be supportive, whatever it is. It's important to be a good supporter through it all, honestly. It shows how good of a friend they are when they really support you through it all. They help you give helpful advice when you need it. They're always there for you, no matter what time of day. They'll never give up on your friendship. You feel better when you have someone that supports you, because when you have someone who doesn't support you, you feel alone and you just feel terrible inside. A good friend is someone who also pushes you to do better when things get hard. A friend is there through everything, through thick and thin. A friend plays an important role in everyone's life. There are a lot of things that you wouldn't be able to do without having a good friend. You can probably think of at least one thing that you felt like you couldn't get through without having that good friend. So this is my good friend. That is what a great friendship looks like. And that's all.
That was
Told you it's basic.
Perfect. That's
But
great.
it's true.
It's good. Very good.
Has anyone heard from Sabrina?
No, I wrote her and asked her where she went, and she hasn't responded back yet.
Okay. Well, okay.
You know.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Has anyone here ever had a sunburn before? I think most of us have at some point. Did you know that according to the CDC, one bad sunburn can double your risk of getting a melanoma later in life? I've worked as a medical assistant for over 12 years. 6.5 of those years I've been in dermatology, where we diagnose and treat skin cancers every day. Skin cancer is the most common type of cancer that exists. There's 3 types of skin cancer: basal cells, squamous cells, and melanomas. Basal cells are the most common type, and they usually appear as a pink pearly papule. Metastasis or spreading of a basal cell is rare, but it can happen. Usually it's just locally destructive. A basal cell can double in size every 6 months, so it can really destroy an area of skin. They usually occur on the head and the neck, but they can occur anywhere on the body. They're usually treated by surgery or with topical chemotherapy agents. So that's a little bit about basal cell skin cancers. Now we're going to move on to squamous cell skin cancers, which are the second most common type of skin cancer. They're usually a red crusty bump, and they can occur very quickly and grow rapidly. They have a higher rate of metastasis than a basal cell, but it's still not very likely to spread. It's most common in sun-exposed areas, usually on the arms and the legs, but it can occur anywhere on the body. It's usually treated by surgery. So we've learned about basal cells and squamous cells. Now on to the most deadly form of skin cancer, which is melanoma. Melanoma is the most common cancer that occurs in women between the ages of 25 and 29. A melanoma is usually a black asymmetric lesion, can look like that, but it can also be amelanotic, which means it has no color to it. It can just be a pink spot. It can occur anywhere on the body, not just sun-exposed areas. It can actually occur in the back of the eye. It can be on the scalp, on the bottom of the foot, anywhere on the body. Metastasis is common if it's not caught early enough or treated. And treatment is usually surgery. And depending on how deep the melanoma goes, they may check your lymph nodes to see if it's spread anywhere else in the body. So there's 3 types of skin cancer: basal cells, squamous cells, and melanomas. 1 in 5 people will develop a skin cancer at some point in their life. There's 4 of us in here now, but if there was 5, it would likely occur in at least one of us. Anyone can get a skin cancer, but we can decrease the chances by being more informed on the disease and how to prevent it.
I'm scared to get a sunburn now. That was nasty.
Yeah, it's
Ew.
scary.
Mhm.
I've had to go a few times and have them remove stuff. I need to go back again.
I'm afraid I have a few of
Here you
them.
get checked.
Yeah, I've got one on my ear that just won't. It's like weird. It's like a little spot, but it never heals. It's always. It's been there for years. But
Have her check it out.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely scary down here. My mother had that all over her chest and on her face, and they gave her the topical chemo stuff.
Yeah.
I tell you, like that, you would think it'd be like, okay, you know, not a big deal, but it was gnarly looking while she had that on. It was like, it really just like blisters your entire skin and takes it off.
But it's better
Felt
than
bad for it. Yeah. All right. Has anybody heard from Sabrina at all again?
no.
I guess
She
we're
didn't
gonna have to
write
do
you.
this twice later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be around all day, so I mean, if
Yeah, I
you
will too, but it
guys
kind of sucks. But
You know.
I don't get it.
Unless she wasn't prepared and we kind of freaked her out or something, because she just dipped out like halfway through my speech and that was it. She didn't say anything. Or,
yours was so good, you might have scared her away.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, if she wants to do it later, that's okay. I'll log back in. I'll
Sure,
be doing
yeah.
homework.
5 minutes, no problem.
But definitely Johanna, if you guys hear from her,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm going to write her and let her know. Or if you guys want to write her and let her know that whenever she's ready today, you know, we'll log in so she can do hers.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
'Cause I just don't know her schedule. So.
Yeah.
Oh, let me stop.